Hello, hello, you guys. Welcome to Boiling Point Faith and Fire. This is not a safe space. This is a truth space. The show exists because the world is loud and it's absolutely scripted and spiritually bankrupt. And someone has to say the things that no one else is saying out loud. So we're here to question narratives, call out corruption, defend conscience, and bring everything back to truth, responsibility, and faith. No spin on it, no fear, and we're not going to outsource our brains. I am Brandon, one of your hosts. I'll be the unfiltered one, allergic to the bullshit. And then with me is Rory, my co host, who is strategic and grounded and the king of podcasts. I will say that. A new show coming out. Ben just showed me yesterday. He's like, look at this. Look what Rory's doing. So, yeah. Hi, you guys.
Hello, how you doing this morning?
I am good.
Yeah, had to get a new show out. So, that's going to be number 10
Yeah.
in the platform, which is, really, really cool. So, excited for that.
Yeah.
Excited for that. Got more to do, but it's called The Mindful Exchange.
Yeah. And it's
And
on
yeah,
mental health, right?
it is.
Are
And
you
it's
targeting
it's on
liberals?
what's that?
Are you targeting liberals? Are you trying to get them help? Like, did you get a soft spot for them and you're like, they're not all so far gone?
No, no, it's nothing like that. No, I've had a lot of conversations with mental health, especially with men, talking about
Oh,
mental
yeah.
health issues. And, what I want to do is bring people on who have some new approaches, who have some active, things to do. Too often we get sent off to therapy. And it's like, okay, here's your story. And depending on the story you give the therapist, here are the boxes you check. Well, then here's your treatment plan right here in these boxes.
Yeah.
So do this, do this. We'll talk about this. It must be your mom. And then your dad probably, hit you. And thanks a lot. And here we go.
Right.
We're tired of cookie cutter stuff. I want to talk to some people who actually have overcome some things, done some creative things, done some out of the box things, and I want to talk to therapists and psychotherapists and counselors that care and are trying to do something new or different. That isn't just the same old.
Right.
And so that's kind of the idea behind the show is to just get a better conversation around mental health.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I think that's amazing because I do, of course, have to put in my 2 cents about what I think about therapy. Okay. Because
Please do.
it's another one of those industries that banks on you being messed up. And so you talk in circles and, thanks to TikTok and all the current thing, my oldest daughter's a big advocate. Like everybody needs therapy. And at some point I can agree on that, but you have to be very careful. Like I would give a life coach my money all day long before I go to a licensed therapist who has kind of been taught to circle. Because I mean, again, there's no money in healed people. There's just not. There's
100%. Gotcha.
yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Appreciate it. Maybe we'll have you on the program just to, give commentary
Well, we
on.
all know I struggle with mental health. Do I? Yes. I don't have it. So,
Maybe I'll have you on as the example of why we need therapy.
right.
So I'm trying to
It's
figure
what
out though
I
how to
have
get you on the
to do.
show because every time I do a new show, you're my first guest. That show explodes.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Well,
explodes.
also, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we do need to figure it out.
That's right. I got to figure an angle to get you on the show.
I'm for it. I'm for it. Yeah, so I just was scouring the headlines and I mean, it's the same stereotypical stuff, but there was something that actually kind of pissed me off. Maybe not as much as not as mad as I made you on the last episode, but like I'm watching this and I physically felt the anger in my body and I was so frustrated. Uh so you guys know it snowed in New York. We all got hit with another extra blizzard. Dude, I mean it's bad. I just pushed my son's car out twice. He got stuck this morning twice and I pushed him out and he's still stuck. And we just were like, forget it. School sucks anyway. Stay home. We're all trapped now. So yeah, we all got hit with some crazy snow. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm going through X this morning following my conspiracy theory people, but I actually saw this everywhere. New York Police Department officers getting hit with snowballs in Washington Square Park this afternoon. And some of the people that posted it were obviously idiots because they're like, it was just a big snowball fight. It was just kids having fun. And this is the lie that they want you to choke on so that you don't have to feel what's actually happening. And I felt it. It's that discernment. I felt it. That was a deliberate public humiliation of authority.
Mhm.
sanctioned by y'all silence, encouraged by cowardly leadership, and yeah, just kids being kids. I would have knocked their blocks off. Like, these cops are not props, they're human beings, and they're standing in freezing weather doing a job nobody else wants for you ungrateful asshats. And they're being treated like they're not even human because of someone else's chaos social experiment. And this is the thing, Eric Adams. Okay, when you spend years throwing police under the bus, apologizing for criminals, and then teaching the public that authority is something to mock, not respect, this was intentional. And that's why like my chest got tight and I'm like, this, it's all leading up to this. Leadership matters, and what you tolerate becomes permission. So here we are. And I don't understand who in the hell would be a cop in New York right now. Why would anybody sign up to be spit on, filmed, baited, dehumanized with zero backup from the people in the suits who are sleeping warm at night with their own little bodyguards, you know? And this kind of behavior is not accidental. Like, they're provoking them, they're pushing buttons, and they're daring reactions. And you're flirting with the edge to see who's going to snap first so they could say, see, we told you cops are the problem. Dude, if I mean, I felt it. I'm like, dude, get your gun and just throw some bullets in the air. And if anybody does anything, just go crazy. Like, I was pissed that they weren't doing anything. Like, do something. They're instigating this so that it fits everything.
Absolutely on purpose. 100%.
Confusion on purpose. It made me
Yep.
so freaking mad.
Yeah, it's the whole minimize the importance and the respect towards law enforcement.
Yeah.
And every time you dehumanize them, every time you get away with throwing a snowball, well, then maybe it's okay to throw a brick. If it's
Yep.
okay to throw a brick, it's okay to throw a knife. If it's okay to throw a knife, it's okay to fire a gun. And these are the things that end up happening. This is how you end up with what you have in, goodness, Portland and Minneapolis and Los Angeles. You have those things because of this type of behavior. That's what this leads to. Mondami's doing nothing about it. He wants it that way. He
I
wants the cops gone. That's why over 5,000 officers have resigned since he got the job. They all know. They all knew it was coming.
yeah.
This is still the same thing. You throw a snowball at a cop, you are assaulting an officer. Period. End of story. You do that in Michigan or here in Indiana, you're going to jail. They're coming to get you. You hit them with a snowball. They turn around. They grab you. They put you in cuffs. You get in the back of the car. You're going to jail. There isn't a question about it. And it's only in places like this where they're run by socialists, where they go, oh, well, they're just playing. No, it's going to take a couple of cops who are ready to quit and don't care about their jobs anymore, who are going to go, I've had enough. That's
Okay.
assaulting an officer. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
And they're going to grab the kid and they're going to throw him in a car and they're going to take him to jail. And until that starts happening, until the police wake up, and, little disclosure, I have one relative on one side of my family and four buddies who are related to that relative, obviously, that are part of different divisions of the New York Police Department.
Yeah.
One of them is a beat cop. And I'm like, are you kidding me with this? They're being told point blank, stand down, do nothing, or you're fired.
Then what is
And
the point of them?
yeah, honestly, they're all a lot more people than the public thinks are looking for other jobs.
Yeah.
And when the NYPD, I mean, they think that 5,000 guys resigning on, the day after election was big. Wait till they see what's coming.
Yeah.
You're going to have the NYPD resign en masse,
Yeah.
and New Yorkers are going to be in a lot of trouble because of what they've done. And frankly, I don't feel bad for any of them. I really don't. I mean, you brought this on yourself. This is what you get. Sorry, but every one of those people should be in jail.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was infuriating to watch. And I mean, you get different angles of video, and it was the whole time they're out there. I'm just like, mm-mm.
It's insane.
I, I, God really had a hand in them not going postal today because that's why I'm not a cop because I wouldn't have been so cool about that at
Well,
all.
all those people that were out there throwing snowballs also completely disobeyed the mayor's mandate because he came out and said that people aren't allowed to be out of their homes.
Yeah.
Not sure if you heard that part of it,
I
but
did not hear that part of it.
yeah, he issued the state of emergency for the city because of the snow. And
Hmm.
he said, if you leave your home, you work for us and you're going to be shoveling snow.
Wow.
That's it. Otherwise, you're not allowed to leave your home. Now, if you do leave your home, you have to have an ID. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Well, that's
Let it sink in for a sec.
I know that's not serious.
You
Like
have to have an
really,
ID. That's right. If you're going to come shovel snow and you want to get paid by the city, you have to have an ID because
but
we
not to
can't
vote.
just
That's a
pay just anybody. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
the irony and the jokes just write themselves. Can I piggyback on this for 1 second? Just
Yes.
because there is one thing that kind of happened this last couple days in Texas. There have been two seats now through the redistricting and everything that they did that were open seats, and they had runoff elections. Conservatives notoriously don't show up for these elections,
Yeah.
and people are because of that. Democrats took both seats. Texas did this redistricting to make more seats with the idea that Republicans would have more seats.
Yeah.
So far, two of those seats have gone to Democrats.
Impressive.
Okay. And what's happening is these districts are where a huge swath of people have moved from California to Texas. I don't know if you can be a more stupid liberal. And I know that I'm getting into like juxtaposition and ironic pentameter right now. But the thing of it is, if you're a liberal, you already don't get it, or you wouldn't be a liberal. But I'm not sure you can be a more ridiculous liberal than to say, I live in California. I'm being taxed to death. The people running it from the Liberal Party, okay, are ruining the state. I'm going to leave. I'm going to Texas, where I have safety and no state taxes and decent stuff and good services. And when I get here, I'm going to vote for the stuff that ruined the place I just left. I don't know how you can be more foolish as a liberal.
I mean, it makes sense though. And that's what they've
How?
done and they continue to do to just cause destruction everywhere.
They're like locusts
There's no
at
brain
this
cell
point.
matter left.
They move from where they ruined, they go to a new place that's, doing great because they want to enjoy that, and then they ruin it. What are you doing? How many more times do you have to do this before you realize it? And that's what's happened to New York.
Yeah.
Those people have left down to Florida. Now, Florida's not having this problem nearly as much. People who went from New York to Florida apparently got it because they're either not voting or, they're voting, conservative
Yeah.
because you don't have liberals taking offices in Florida now. But in Texas, you do.
I just can't see Texas as a blue state.
I can't even imagine, what's going on with that. So, and it's just these small precincts, where
Yeah.
you're just seeing this change. But if that change keeps going,
Yep.
Texas will become Illinois or California pretty quickly.
I've said it
Pretty quickly.
before. It is the small things that matter the most. It's not voting for the president, you guys. Get out in these small things and actually vote. That's where we're losing everything.
Yeah.
That's where we're losing control. And that's why no matter who's president, I still live in a blue state because of all these little tiny things that nobody shows up to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the little
I've
things matter.
never understood it about your state. There's tons of conservatives in your
Or
state.
they cheat.
Tons of conservatives in your state. And they literally don't show up. And then when they do, yeah, they get cheated out. It's pretty bad. But yeah, you guys are in a lot of trouble up there. Kind of makes me wonder about living this close to the border.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
trust me, if
but
we weren't on the hook for another couple years, we would have been gone a long time ago. So,
it's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Yeah. So anyway, New York, yes, Mondani did decide he was going to issue this edict, and you're not allowed to leave your house at all. People are homebound, but it's like emergency proclamation or some kind of thing. If you leave your house, you can get ticketed. If you don't, like, then go back in the house, then you can be arrested.
oh, they're
Yeah.
going to arrest you for leaving your house.
I
But you
apparently,
can
if I
go.
go to work, I get arrested. Cracks me up because in Indiana we had a blizzard, right, for a couple days.
Mhm.
It came down like, I mean, kaboom,
Yeah.
Wrath of God type stuff. And we watched it, and we stayed inside for a while. And when it was done, we went out and we shoveled, and we drive through it, and we don't care because it's just snow.
It's just no.
And everywhere else in the world seems like there's snow. The world has to stop.
Right.
Are you kidding?
Right.
People in Indiana are laughing at the rest of the country right now. Like, wait, you got a foot and you closed the city?
Yeah.
We get a foot and I don't even shovel. I just walk through it now.
That's exactly.
I don't even
Exactly.
bother with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I love my state.
Yeah.
That's why I have no intention of leaving it. So even when we move out of here, we're just moving further south in the same state.
Yeah.
We're staying here.
You guys are moving.
Possibly.
Nice.
Yeah, possibly. We have three kids,
Yeah.
and so the whole idea was when they get settled, we have to decide where we're going to go. We just found out that both my boys, and one of them has the wife who's making me a grandfather.
Yeah.
They both are settling. One's already down around the Indianapolis area. The other one's going to that area also. So we're going to have four of our
In
six
Colorado,
kids,
huh?
in yeah, leaving Colorado. Two blue,
It's
just two
awful.
blue. They
Awful.
started talking about raising a kid and looking at the
Yeah.
schools, and my son was like, "Nope, absolutely not."
Yeah.
So he's like, "What if we have a girl?
Yeah.
She's going to be competing against a guy who looks like me,
Yeah.
in shot put. Give me a break." So yeah, so we're looking at possibly doing that,
Nice.
heading south, and it's pretty cool. One last little story, and I'm gonna let you get to all the really good stuff because it was a funny story about like retirement, and I think a lot of people can kind of get this. Not youngsters like you, okay, but
Yeah. I
people who are my
don't
age,
think we're really that far off in age. Youngster.
ancient people like
Yeah.
myself, right?
Uh-huh.
I spend most of my life in, a black tracksuit. That's pretty much just what I wear
Yeah.
because I'm retired. I mean, I'm a podcaster full time. What do I care, right? And
Hmm.
I'm wearing this top, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there, and my wife is completely done up. She looks gorgeous. She's got her hair all done. She's got, makeup on. She's got the jewelry and a whole bit. Absolutely just drop dead gorgeous. And she's wearing a mauve, tracksuit that one of the kids got for her for Christmas. And we're at breakfast on Sunday morning, and she stops and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Look what we're wearing." And I'm like, "Okay, basically retired. What's the issue?" She goes, "We've turned into the Sopranos."
That's funny.
And I went, "Oh my God." I mean, if you guys don't know the Sopranos old
Yeah.
series where all the Italians, wear tracksuits and stuff. And I said, "Well, you're much better looking than Carmela ever was. So you know what? I think we're in good shape."
Yeah.
I
That's
think
funny.
I finally turned into Tony Soprano, just wearing a black tracksuit my whole life now. And I'm going, this is pretty bad. Maybe I should put on pants. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But
No, pants are overrated, you guys.
that was it.
Yeah.
Done. Sorry, little thing to share. We got to lighten the mood on the show sometimes
No, I
because,
agree.
otherwise people are going to hear this and be like, "I'm going to go sit in the corner and cry
Right.
about everything going on."
Especially we needed the light story because I'm just gonna make y'all sick again.
Oh, here she comes. See, this is why I just felt like I needed to get some light in here because the darkness is about to come crashing through the
Right.
red wall behind Brandon. So,
Right.
all right, go ahead.
Okay. So there's an article circulating, and let me be very clear. It's from 2014. Okay. But it's gone viral again. At least I've seen it a dozen times in the past couple of days. The New York Times put out an article that says pedophilia, a disorder, not a crime. Okay. And they're not the only ones that have done this. I've seen other people, they really tried to push it there for a hot minute. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because like I said, it's an old thing. I haven't found anything really actually current that is talking about this, but this is where vigilance matters now, because history proves one thing over and over that the moment evil gets relabeled or softened or tucked behind the academic language, it starts looking for daylight. And silence is not neutral, it is permission. And we watch this play out. Same sex marriage, adults, legal, fine, nobody cared. That was the line. Most people shrugged, live, let live. Who cared, right? Even Christians, like, let them do whatever they're going to do. We were just quiet and we go back to our lives. We didn't guard the boundary. We didn't say this stops with consenting adults. And because we didn't speak, it stopped. And it moved into schools and it became ideology, curriculum, propaganda aimed at kids who don't have the cognitive or spiritual defenses to sort truth from confusion. And that wasn't tolerance anymore. That was indoctrination. And it flat out violates the word of God. And this happened the same thing with, transgender. Same thing. Who cares if they're wearing a dress? Let them dress however they want. And it snowballed because we just all said okay. This right here is no different. And you don't get to normalize something horrific by calling it a disorder, a condition, a nuance, or a conversation starter. There can never be an exception to this topic. Ever, ever. When it comes to kids, the line is not blurry. It is not evolving. It is not something that we just set up for debate. Children are not a theory. They are not your social experiment. They are not collateral damage for someone else's understanding. And God is very clear about protecting kids, okay? Scripture does not stutter on this. And when we start parsing evil instead of confronting it, we're already losing ground. And we stay quiet because we don't want to be labeled the harsh, unloving, or intolerant. We give the microphone to people who have no business shaping the moral framework of the next generation. And obviously, you guys, we know this. Evil doesn't show up in horns announcing itself. It's the credentials, the footnotes, and a little tone that says, like, relax, you're overreacting. That's how lines get crossed. And that's how these horrors become complex issues. And that's how kids end up paying the price for adult cowardice. So, no, I'm telling you right now, this is not something we politely debate while nodding along. This is something we all have to continue to refuse out loud without an apology. You protect kids hard by drawing hard lines and guarding them relentlessly. You protect them by speaking when it's uncomfortable. You protect them by refusing to let this cultural drift override moral truth. Silence is complicity, and it always has been. And this is the one place where we're not going to blink about this. It is not okay, and there can be no room for any exception. I don't care how much you love someone. None of us can allow anyone to sign off on this. None of us, ever. So I'm saying hold the line.
I don't think anybody could possibly disagree with you on that. Um, the strange part about what they're trying to do
Yeah.
is that I think they think that once you take whatever the condition is and you label it as mental illness, well, then all of a sudden it's not illegal. Well, it is still. I mean, if I'm a psychopath, but I don't act on any of those tendencies, but maybe I think them all day long, well, then I have a mental condition and I have a mental illness, but I haven't broken the law. It's not against the law to have that. But if I'm a psychopath and I kill somebody, well, then I'm going to jail.
Right.
And I'm not going to not go to jail because, I'm psychotic.
Yeah.
That isn't the deal. I committed murder with it. It's the same thing. I mean, if you are, feeling, that this pedophilia thing is like, inside of you and you never act on it, well, you're a tormented soul and you need God. But when you act on it in any way, shape, or form, you are a criminal
You're a criminal.
and you've broken the law
Hmm.
and you're done. And there are states that are really fighting hard against, what you're talking about. So I appreciate the fact that you bring something like this up
Hmm.
because the average citizen has to develop this attitude.
Hmm.
There are some states like Florida that are saying, look, while you're mulling this over, we're going to lead the way for you and
Yeah.
say, here's what we think, right? If you are convicted of, this stuff, um, death penalty,
Yeah.
you're done. We're not playing around anymore. We're not going to house you forever. We're not going to give you therapy.
Yeah.
You're done. Okay. Act on it. You're done.
Yep.
There has to be a deterrent. And I think that's what people have forgotten. Why there are crimes, why we arrest people, why there are punishments for these different things. It isn't just for that person. It's the deterrent to everybody else.
Hmm.
If I'm going to roll a stop sign, there's no consequence to that. The worst thing that happens, maybe I get a ticket. Well, when I'm on my way to work and I'm late, I don't care about the ticket. So it's worth it to me to risk the ticket by rolling the stop sign. Well, you roll too many stop signs, you get in an accident. Okay, and that's what happens. That escalates. If I can drive drunk and nothing happens to me, well, then I'm going to keep driving drunk because there's no consequence. Okay, when people know you get busted driving drunk one time and you're going to jail, all of a sudden you think twice about it. And that's the whole idea behind this stuff. That's what Florida's trying to do. Is they're saying, look, okay, if you're going to act on it and we catch you, you're death penalty.
Yeah.
Period. It's not, three hots and a cot and therapy and, the psycho wing. No, you're done. That is going to make people think twice about acting on whatever desires the devil's put in their heart. And that's what we're getting away from with all these liberal judges. That's what we're getting away from with all of society. And so it's good to see some states leading the way, but at some point, the people have
Yeah.
to get on board with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And they have to decide, look, I feel this way, line in the sand here. And then that dictates how I vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awful, awful, awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexual preference. I heard one
Yeah.
liberal say
I've heard that.
it's really just a sexual preference.
Mhm.
How that person ever gets reelected to anything, I have no idea.
Yeah. I
Because you're
mean,
just
people are
complicit with
just
them.
so ignorant to reality. Like they've just lost touch. What do the kids say now? Like you need to touch grass. Like you need to touch grass. I don't really know what that means, but I know they say that. I feel like the context is right here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. Other headlines, there is something I didn't notice today. I noticed no one talking about the fact that Trump honored angel families. He did this big thing for all the innocent lives lost to criminals who were here illegally. And the fantastic timing on this is also celebrated by the fact that we just took a blow to one of the darkest, most destructive criminal networks in North America. El Mencho. I
Mm.
can't pronounce his name. He has a really long name. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm just gonna say El Mencho. Um, Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, something like that. El Mencho. Okay, you guys, he's the founder and leader of the most powerful, violent, and globally connected criminal organizations in Mexico. And not a backyard gang. I'll make that very clear.
Right.
But he had connections through United States, Europe, Africa, and Asia, smuggling huge quantities of fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, humans, and children, which I'm guessing men and women are being sold as well, to the point, at some point, we did put a $15 million reward into looking for his arrest. But this dude was brutal. Public executions, assassination attempts, direct attacks on Mexican security forces, buying people in the government. One of the most dangerous criminals on the planet is done. And so the crazy thing is, if you go to all the basic news articles, they're just talking about how it's Trump's fault that people are trapped in Mexico now and all these things have happened. But I see this, you know, the crime empire is going down. And, getting him wasn't going to be easy. Mexican forces were in on it, you guys. US intelligence just helped locate him and confirm him. So we didn't kill him. We helped find him, but we didn't do the job. But this is what we did do. And what I think is amazing is that we've got ICE doing an incredible job here to take out sleeper cells, to take out all of the guys that are trained to retaliate when guys like this get taken out. And so if you want to look at the bright side of this, everything that's happening in Mexico right now could have been happening here had we not taken out a lot of the key connections for this guy already. So this is huge. This is a win, a real one. Not celebrating chaos, but celebrating justice finally catching up. And when agencies like ICE and the DEA, all of these people focus on the structures that are really hurting people, they are showing us right now you can dismantle the heads of the snakes. And trust me,
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of sleeper networks inside this country. Labs, corridors, trafficking routes, like everything has to be cleaned out. And they've been working on that long before this guy was taken out. So I just want you guys to use common sense, use your brain. This is why enforcement inside our own borders matters so much. It matters.
Problem is nobody's going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Just like the the families. that we were talking to, they were military
Yeah.
families when he honored them. I mean, there were two networks that showed up for
Yeah.
that, Fox and Newsmax. And that was it. So all of the left and even the folks who were claiming they're not left wing were not there for that, which was a pretty big deal. And yeah, no one's talking about the huge win and everything that got taken out. All they're talking about now is the result of that.
Right.
And, there's a reason why the Mexican authorities made sure they didn't take this guy hostage.
Right.
Okay. And made sure that he was done
Done.
quickly
Yes.
and beyond repair. I
Hmm.
mean, they lit him up. There
Yeah.
was nothing coming back from this guy.
Right.
So they didn't want him talking.
Yeah.
They weren't going to give him a platform to speak, and say, oh, well, actually, I've been getting all my funding
Yeah.
and money from the government,
Exactly.
right? You know,
Right.
no, he absolutely fall guy and done. And now there are some factions that are really upset about it, that are rising up against Americans who
Yeah.
happen to be in Puerto Vallarta and all these other places. My son was just there.
Oh,
My youngest son 2 weeks ago was there.
yeah.
And when he was leaving, there was some sort of civil unrest sort of starting.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what, but it was like, okay, we're getting out of here. Great.
Energy's
It,
there. Yeah.
this whole team, so great. We won the Mexico trip. We got to go. And they took off. And they're out of there now, thank God. But there are a lot of Americans who are stuck down there.
Right.
And I mean, hey, it's great, that Trump's going to do something about it. But by the same token, you can't negotiate with terrorists. You just
Exactly.
can't. So, I mean, what are we going to do? I don't know. What's
Yeah.
going to happen in that situation? I don't know. But they're going to start. I have a feeling that they're going to start getting people out of there under the radar. Is
Right.
my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I,
So,
I believe that. I believe
yeah.
that. And I just think like, he should get some credit for protecting people in the United States from that blowback by
Yeah.
letting ICE do their job,
Should
you know.
should. Your
So,
connection to it makes total sense, but no one's ever going to lay it out.
yeah,
Liberals don't get the news,
I know.
and they think they do.
Well, I
That's the
see
biggest
a
problem.
lot of conservatives that aren't really getting the news either, and it's really disappointing.
Mm,
So I think we speak to them too, because there's a lot of them that are just someone takes a viral headline, twists it, and then everybody's reposting it for 2 weeks, and it's not the truth, you know?
true. Yeah.
And it goes on
Absolutely.
both sides, you know? I know, even with what's that idiot from California? Newsom.
Which idiot from California?
Newsom.
You got to be more specific than that.
Newsom.
Newsom?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
he dropped out of the presidency, I guess. Trump did post that. But
He
yeah,
dropped out?
he dropped out. He's out. Hmm.
Well, after that Atlanta mess that he
Well, but that's
went
the
through?
thing. I watched that whole video and they kind of took it out of context and ran with it. I do think he still said stupid stuff, but like everybody that was sharing it, I'm like, you guys are you're playing the media game right now. 'Cause
Sure.
it
On
got blown
both
out.
sides.
Yeah, it got blown out of proportion, manipulated, and they took it out of context. So, um, not that I feel sorry for him, I don't care. But I'm just saying both sides do it. Both sides aren't all educated.
Right.
Everyone's like, this is exactly what happened. And I'm like, no, it's not. But it's fine because I don't care about the guy. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, at the end of the day, this isn't just geopolitics, right? It's spiritual warfare and it's just playing out in the real world. And that's what I want to bring you back to. Scripture doesn't mince words. Where there is lawlessness, there is darkness. Where justice advances, there is going to be a fight. The demons are pissed. And we're up against principalities and powers that feed on corruption and addiction and exploitation and fear. So, taking down a kingpin is not the end of the war. There's 100 more where he's from. Although he was one of the, like, he's scary guy. Okay. So I'm glad he's gone. But, someone's going to try to take his place. But evidence that righteous coordinated action against evil is possible. And I'm proud of our president for doing that. There's a lot of, I know he's doing the State of the Union tonight and he's going to toot his own horn. We're going to roll our eyes a lot of the times, but deep down, he's doing things like this and things like shutting our borders and things like, protecting ICE. Like he's doing things that are taking care of us in a way that we can't see. And I just want you guys to be mindful of that find the good in that. It's our fight isn't just legal, it's spiritual. We stand against every force that harms the innocent, whether it's, cartel bosses on the run or dark schemes that infect hearts and minds. I just want you guys to stay grounded in the fact that it is just comes down to a spiritual battle.
Love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Got anything else?
I'm good today.
Okay. Let me do a quick close just on what you just said, which I
Yeah.
appreciate, because that is the heart and soul of all of it, is that it is a spiritual battle. The only thing I want to remind people about is that the throughout history, faith has been the fuel, and the way that it has come to fruition, the way that it has gotten its fingers on the ledge, the way that it's sort of carved into our society is through politics and through who we vote for and how government works and everything else, all the way back to Henry VIII, and how he had to separate church and state, so to speak. Um, it's absolutely important that we remember that when we are voting, we aren't just voting for the stuff that's out there. We aren't just voting for money, economics, and things like that. We're voting for our right to worship spiritually. We are not that far away from the left taking over and Bibles being outlawed. We're just not. And that may sound like crazy speak,
Mm.
but and honestly, it's to the point where you could find pretty easily just a couple of swipes of a pen if they had total control to where the Bible can no longer be produced and distributed in the United States because they could call it hate speech tomorrow
Hmm.
if they wanted to. And there's a growing faction that thinks it is. And all that is a political assault on faith. So while we do have to steward our families. We do have to start at the kitchen table, and we do have to work on those things within our home. We also have to go down and participate at the ballot box. Or while we are sitting here turning a blind eye to it because it's unpleasant, we are going to, through, being silent and being complicit, like you say all the time, we are going to empower the people who will take it away from us. That's it.